Hi everyone, this week we will be looking at teamwork in organizations. The first question we will ask is, what is a team? A team is a unit of two or more people who interact and coordinate their work to accomplish a common goal to which they are committed and hold themselves mutually accountable. This is not to be confused with a group. A group is a collection of individuals who coordinate their individual efforts, while the team is a group of persons that share a common purpose. So say for instance, the class is a group of students. When you are assigned in groups of 5 or so to complete your final project, that is when you become a team, because now you are working towards a common goal. A team has 3 components. 1, 2 or more people are required. 2, people in a team interact regularly. And 3, people in a team share a performance goal. Let us now look at the requirements of a team. Team members are expected to focus on a shared mission. Everybody in the team must be working towards the same goal and wanting to achieve the same end result. Members of a team must trust each other. You must also be willing to sacrifice for the team, and this means that you have to put your individualistic behaviors behind and work together for the benefit of the team. You have to contribute your objectives and needs. So there needs to be clear lines of communication so that team members can communicate with each other so that they can get the job or the task done. And you also have to be pulling in the same direction. If teams are pulling in different directions and want different outcomes or being individualistic, then the team will become dysfunctional. We will discuss dysfunction later on. What are the contributions that team makes to the organization? Team make important contribution to the organization, and we will look at 5 here. The first one is creativity and innovation. Because teams include people with diverse skills, strengths, experiences, and perspectives, they contribute to a higher level of creativity and innovation in the organization. So people are coming with all kinds of different backgrounds, etc., and they have this pool of just different ideas, and it causes them to be more creative. The second one is improved quality. So one criterion for organizational effectiveness is whether products and services meet customer requirements for quality. When employees work in a team, there is a higher quality of output. Speed. This is obvious because once 2 or more persons are working together, then they would accomplish a task faster than a single person would. So teams can speed up product development response more quickly and respond to customer needs and solve cross-departmental problems quickly, as opposed to if one person was doing that particular task. Teams also contribute to higher productivity and lower costs. Effective teams can unleash a lot of energy from employees because the presence of other persons enhances an individual performance. So when working together, individuals work better and produce more. Then finally we have enhanced motivation and satisfaction. Working in teams causes employees to have a sense of belongingness. Teamwork also reduces boredom, increases people's feeling of self-worth, and give people a chance to develop new skills. They also cope better with stress, enjoy their jobs more, and have a higher level of motivation and commitment to the organization. And all of this leads to the company performing well overall and maintaining their competitive advantage in the marketplace. We're going to look now at types of teams. We have several different types of teams. The first one is functional teams. Then we have cross-functional teams, self-managed teams, and virtual teams. We will now look at them individually. Functional teams. A functional team is composed of a manager and his or her subordinates in the formal chain of command. It may include 3 or 4 levels of hierarchy within a functional department. And typically the team includes a single department in an organization. So say for instance the HR department, we would call it a functional team. It has the HR manager, probably a supervisor, then you have the lower level workers, and it is in the hierarchy of the head and then subordinates, as the graphic here shows. A cross-functional team. This is a group of persons from different departments that come together to work on a project. So a cross-functional team is composed of employees from about the same hierarchical level but from different areas of expertise. So we have someone from the design team, operations, someone from marketing, someone from sales, then you have the developer, and you're probably working on launching a new product. Usually all the persons in a functional team are on the same level, so they are managers or middle-level workers or that kind of thing. So one type of cross-functional team is a task force, which is a group of employees from different departments formed to deal with a specific activity and existing only until the task is completed. So most time cross-functional teams are not long-term, they are short-term teams. Then we have self-managed teams. Self-managed teams typically consist of 5 to 20 multi-skilled workers who rotate jobs to produce an entire product or service. It includes employees with several skills and functions. The team is given access to resources such as information, equipment, machinery, supplies, whatever they need to complete the task. And the team is empowered with decision-making authority. So members have the freedom to select new members, solve problems, spend money, monitor results, and plan for the future. So a self-managed team, similar to the functional team, they're pretty much all equal and they work together and make their own decisions, and they're given authority from the head of the organization that they can operate however they see fit as long as it benefits the organization. Virtual teams. A virtual team is a group made up of geographically or organizationally dispersed members who are linked primarily through advanced information and telecommunication technologies. A virtual team can be local, national, or global, with members coming from one firm or many. So as the name suggests, the virtual team, people are all over the place. Or you probably outsource a function, or even within the same organization, people are working from different locations, different offices, etc. But they're on the same team because they're working towards the same goal. So we call that a virtual team. And it is becoming more and more popular, especially with new technologies emerging. So let us now look at some team characteristics. The three that we will look at are size, diversity, and member roles. Size. Teams tend to be large enough to incorporate the diverse skills needed to complete a task, enable members to express good and bad feelings, and aggressively solve problems. They also should be small enough for members to feel that they are part of a team. So when it comes to team size, there is no fixed amount of persons that must be in a team, but it has to meet this criteria. If the team is too large, then people feel disconnected. They don't feel like they're a part of the team, and then the team again can become dysfunctional. So team size is important. And if the team is too small, well, I don't know that team can be too small, because a team is 2 or more persons. But when the team is too small, then people will more likely feel connected and work better together. Another team characteristic is diversity. Diverse teams produce more innovative solutions to problems. So diversity in terms of functional area and skill, thinking styles, personal characteristics is often a source of creativity. And we spoke about creativity before, and how when diverse people come to the table with different backgrounds and ideas, etc., then creativity comes about. Then member roles. Team must be structured in a way that both maintains its members' social well-being and accomplish the task. There are some members of the team that will focus specifically on the task being done, and then there are other members of the team that will more focus on the socio-emotional role, that is the well-being of everybody, because both of them are important. It is important that the task is done, and it is important that people get along well and feel a sense of belonging, etc. With all the good things that we have said about teamwork so far, teamwork is not without its drawbacks. Some teams experience dilemmas in some organizations that cause dysfunction, etc. And we will look at some of those. When you are in a team, you have to give up your independence. So you are no longer an individual, but you are a part of the team, and therefore you may want to do something in a particular way, and the rest of the team disagrees, and you may have to just give up your right, your idea, etc. You may have to put your idea on the back burner and go with what the majority of the team wants to do. So you are no longer independent, making independent decisions. One negative of the teamwork again is putting up with free riders, and I'm sure a lot of you would have experienced that, where you're in a team, you're working on your group project, and some persons just don't pull their weight. It is not necessarily tolerated in an organization, because then you always have recourse and you can go to the supervisor, etc. But these persons will always exist. They will do the minimum that is necessary and depend on the other persons in the group to carry the weight. Teams are sometimes dysfunctional, and we will look at what dysfunction is now. So we're going to look at the team dysfunction as opposed to an effective team. So we will look at what an effective team is, or a characteristic of effective team, then we will look at a characteristic of a dysfunctional team. So an effective team has trust. Members trust one another on a deep emotional level. They feel comfortable being vulnerable with each other. In a dysfunctional team, people don't feel safe to reveal their mistakes, share concerns, or express ideas. Maybe because one person in the team or several persons in the team are what we would call bullies, and are not open to other person's ideas, or are intolerant of persons making mistakes, and therefore there's a lack of trust. Effective teams have healthy conflict, so members feel comfortable disagreeing and challenging one another in the interest of finding the best solution. Conflict does not always mean that you're quarreling or you're fighting. It is just that you may disagree about a specific course of action. But in a dysfunctional team now, people fear conflict. People go along with others for the sake of harmony, and they don't express their conflicting opinions, even though those conflicting opinions may be of some value to the team overall. Effective teams are committed to each other. So because all ideas are put on the table, people can achieve genuine buy-in around important goals and decisions. So because people are expressing themselves, they are turning up for meetings, etc., and they are participating in the team effort, they are showing commitment in that way. Dysfunctional teams now lack commitment. They're afraid to express their opinions, and it is difficult to gain their true commitment to decisions. So again, they may lack commitment because of other dynamics that is going on in the team. Maybe the team leader is not a good leader and allow persons to do whatever they want to do, and therefore other persons become less committed. An effective team promotes accountability, so members hold one another accountable rather than relying on managers as the source of accountability. In a dysfunctional team, people avoid accountability. People don't accept responsibility for outcomes. They engage in finger pointing when things go wrong, and at the end of the day it would seem as if it was nobody's fault or something just happened. But we all know that that is not true. Somebody is always responsible. Effective teams are very results oriented, so individual members set aside personal agendas, focus on what is best for the team, and collective results define success. In a dysfunctional team, they don't pay attention to results. Members put personal ambition or the needs of their individual departments ahead of the collective results. So basically, people are just looking out for themselves. So that is how we look at the effective team, and we look at the opposite, which is a dysfunctional team. The final section that we will deal with under teamwork is the stages of team development. After a team has been created, it develops by passing through distinct stages. So we have forming, storming, norming, performing, and a journey, as expressed by this graphic. We will look at them individually. Forming, a period of orientation and getting acquainted. So this is when you just come together as a team and you're getting to know each other. Members break the ice and test one another for friendship possibilities and task orientation. You want to know, do you like this person? Can this person do whatever they are supposed to do in the group? Uncertainty is high during this stage, and members usually accept whatever power or authority is offered by either formal or informal leaders. So you don't want to say anything really. You're not sure what is happening yet. It's like you just start a course on the first week of class. You don't know much about the course or what to expect, or nothing much about the lecturer, etc. Then members are concerned about things such as what is expected of me, what behavior is acceptable, and will I fit in? and therefore you have some kind of doubt as to whether or not this team is for you. The team leader now has the responsibility of providing the members with information and allowing them to get acquainted with each other, encourage them to engage in informal social discussions so that you can start to get to know each other. The storming stage now, and this occurs when individual personalities emerge. So you start to get used to each other now and people are showing their true selves. People become more assertive in clarifying their roles and what is expected of them. It is marked by conflict and disagreement. People may disagree over their perceptions of the team's goals or how to achieve them. Also, the team leader now should encourage participation by each team member, because when you are in the storming stage, people may want to retract because of the conflict and disagreement, and they don't necessarily want to get into it even though they have opposing views. But it's the responsibility of the team leader to encourage participation in the storming stage. Members should propose ideas, disagree with one another, and work through the uncertainties and conflicts. In the norming stage, conflict is resolved and team harmony and unity emerge. So after a period of time and you really get to understand each other and understand that conflict is not necessarily personal, it is just a part of getting the job done, then people start to unite. Consensus develops on who has the power, who the leaders are, and what the various member roles are. So members come to accept and understand each other. Even if they have certain traits or personal characteristics that you don't like, you understand the persons and therefore you can work with them. So differences are resolved and members develop a sense of team cohesion. So here now the team leader should emphasize unity within the team and help to clarify team norms and values. What is it that we will normally do and how we operate as a team will be clarified in the norming stage. The performing stage now, the major emphasis is on problem solving and accomplishing the assigned task. Members are committed to the team's vision. They are working well with each other. Things are running smoothly. They are coordinating with one another and handle disagreements in a mature way. They confront and resolve problems in the interest of task accomplishment. They interact frequently and they direct their discussions and influence towards achieving the team goals. The team leader now should concentrate on managing task performance. Both socio-emotional and task specialist roles contribute to the team functioning, as we had discussed that before. So here in the performing stage, everything is running smoothly. People are performing at a high level, and most times this is what continues throughout. This is the stage that the team really start to work. I don't want to say independently, but just to work well together and even independently as part of the team. The adjourning stage is the final stage of a team. This only occurs in committees and teams that have limited tasks to perform and are disbanded afterwards. So say the cross-functional team that we had discussed before, the adjourning stage would apply to them because they're a temporary team. But in most cases, there is no adjourning stage because the team always continues. The emphasis is on wrapping up and gearing down. Task performance is no longer the top priority because the task is completed. Members may feel heightened emotionally because they have this strong cohesiveness. Then they might have some depression and regret that the team now is disbanding. The team leader may wish to signify the team's disbanding with a ritual or ceremony, perhaps giving out plaques and awards to members to signify closure and completeness, or they might just have a informal get together. But as I said before, the adjourning stage is only for temporary teams. Most teams, once they reach the norming stage, that is how they continue onwards. If new members are assigned to the team, so new members enter the team, then that is when the new member will then go through the different stages. And the different stages in team development does not necessarily occur consecutively or in sequence. Sometimes more than one thing going on at the same time. So it's like we would be storming and norming at the same time and that kind of thing. So the dynamics in different teams are different. So we have come to the end of this lecture. I wanted to make it really short. I didn't want to give you a long video, so I just focused on the main points under team development. You will now have to go and read the chapter to get a more wholesome view of how the team impacts the organization as a whole. Okay, bye.